And that song, perfect for our next topic, drones. They're a popular Christmas gift this year, and starting tomorrow, they have to be registered with the federal government. There have been hundreds of reports around the country of drones flying too close to airports and planes. So now any drone that weighs between half a pound and 55 pounds must be registered with the FAA for $5. Drone owners who don't sign up and are caught could face fines of up to nearly $30,000 and prison time of up to 3 years. Now there's a new report that says the registry, including names and addresses, will be made public. So is having to register your drone with the FAA an unnecessary burden, or is it a smart move by the government? That's our topic this half hour. We want to hear from you on our Fox 26 Facebook page. You can also weigh in on Twitter. Use the hashtag Fox26forlife. Joining us live in the newsroom is our panel led by our senior legal analyst Chris Tritico, our news analyst Mustafa Tamiz, and public policy analyst Jackie Bally. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
All right. Any of you have drones?
No, I don't have a drone
No
yet.
drones
I've been working. I want a 55-pound drone. That's what I want. I mean, I want to fly a Buick around. You know, this has been coming for a long time, Sally. As the reports grow and grow and grow with drones flying too close to airplanes and too close to airports, there is going to be a major problem one day if the government doesn't do something. The problem is the drone industry grew up faster than the FAA and the federal government could come up with regulations on how to keep America safe with these drones flying around. And the biggest problem is if you get 3 years in prison for an unregistered drone, it's going to be problems for you. Can you imagine, Mustafa? So what are you in for? Murder? How about you? Unregistered drone? You are not going to last long in there.
Not at all. You know, I think this is an important debate, but there's an aspect of this that's not being talked about, which is our FAA is willfully underfunded. I think the last time we put radar systems and upgraded them was in the 1960s. So the bigger issue is that as we are flying more and more, there are more and more planes in the air now. Now you're putting unmanned vehicles on air. Accidents are likely to happen. So I'm glad that they're doing this, but this is a much bigger problem than we anticipate.
A lot of people, Jackie, say this is a privacy concern. I have the right to fly my drone wherever I want it, and the government needs to stay out of it.
Well, not only is the FAA underfunded, but they don't really have the means to actually do something about it. I know that they've said that you could be fined, you could be jailed, but they don't actually have the resources to do that. So it's going to be questionable, those people who don't register, if they will actually take action and how they will be able to take action. And of course, a lot of people will say, well, this is infringing on my personal rights. But look, we've been seeing an increase 8 times as much since 2014 on the report of drones interrupting or interfering with other aircrafts that are doing government work or trying to do other things. So some type of measures have to be put in place.
And the enforcement's going to come. I can just tell you right now, the enforcement's going to come when you get caught. If you crash it into something, it lands on somebody else's property, and they get it, they find out it's not registered, that's when you'll get charged with that crime. Is this a privacy concern? I mean, you also see people flying their drones and taking pictures in people's backyards when they're back there sunbathing.
Yeah, well, I think that we don't realize how commercial of an item drones are. If you're a real estate company, you want to put aerial photos in your marketing materials, you hire a drone service to do that. So this is just a growing industry, and just like we control our highways, we control our roads, traffic on these on crossways. This is our air traffic. It will really require more controls in the future.
Let's go to Sally. She's monitoring our social media.
Okay, we've got a couple of tweets here on Twitter to show you. Remember, you can always weigh in as well. Just use the hashtag Fox26forlife. Go to Shannon Dell first. He says, not with my info and definitely not with my child's info. You will not be registering hobbyists. No way, Jose. He's talking about this report out that says addresses and names, even those of children, because, you know, if you're 13 and older, you can fly these and you have to be registered. And then Coach Bart Smith says, not understanding how registering your drone with the FAA will solve the problems of people who don't respect simple drone common sense.
Good question. Good question, Jackie Bally. How does that help?
Well, I mean, that's exactly the point I was making earlier. the FAA does not have the abilities to actually enforce this because so many people could actually get their drones, not register them. You mentioned if there's a casualty or if there's an accident, but there are so many times when that does not happen. And in those instances when that's not happening, nothing's actually going to happen to these people if they don't pay their $5 to actually register.
So the registration program in and of itself is not going to make us any safer, is it?
It will, because in essence people will be more conscious. What you don't want basically is someone who's got a 55-pound drone and they can fly it at a fairly decent speed, crash it in something, because they can't get hurt, right? They're miles away in their little remote control box, and walk away from it. If they feel like that it's registered, they're likely to be more conscious and cautious.
Well, the irony is that our own president has said that our own drones have killed civilians. And so we've had the FAA and our government drones that have actually injured and killed civilians, but you haven't seen many instances where people are using drones recreationally, or the people who they're trying to get to register the drones that are actually having that issue.
Well, those drones that have killed civilians are military drones that are firing rockets.
Well, my point is that whenever you hear about killing people or you're hearing about injury, it's usually government related.
Right.
And I think what FAA is anticipating is that in the coming years that it's going to become more and more popular, both commercial and as hobbyists, and they're trying to find a way for people to be more, more cautious.